to make it to the final. And he's playing a man with great experience. 31 years after the most famous Crucible final of them all. Well, it's Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor who are together again, this time in the commentary booth for the opening session of 8 frames this afternoon. Bring it on, guys.
We certainly will, Hazel. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to finals day at the Crucible Theatre. And what an atmosphere as both players were introduced into this magnificent arena.
Thank you. The first frame. Junhui to break.
Every player's ambition when they turn professional is to become world snooker champion. Mark Selby achieved that a couple of years ago. Can the Chinese sensation Junhui win his first world championship? Now, late last night, after his semi-final victory, Mark Selby had a new tip put on his cue, a brand new tip, it has to be said. Be interesting to see how he starts off this session. Not the best safety shot from Mark, but it does take a bit of getting used to the new tip, Steve.
Well, I've got to say, that must have been because he felt that he couldn't play at all with the tip he had on. It's a nightmare scenario to have to change a tip at such late notice in the tournament.
Well, that was a nervy shot from Junhui there, but he hasn't left anything.
Great air of anticipation in the crowd before the start of this match, and a fantastic reception for both players. Yes, it's England versus China, but I think the Crucible crowd have taken Junhui to their hearts over the last few years. Arguably as much support for him as for Mark Selby.
Nothing to pick between the two players. They've played each other on 20 occasions. It's 10 each. But one of the significant wins was Ding in the 2011 quarter-final of the World Championship. Defeated Mark 13-10. Now those 4 colours now are in perfect positions to try and get in behind.
I think the fascinating thing about this matchup, Dennis, in the final is that nobody really got a clue what's going to happen. Nobody's even got an inkling. There's no track record as such that's sticking out there, and you can pick a winner, but it could go horribly wrong.
Well, this will test that new tip. It's the type of shot he's so good at. He punches these in around the back of the black. This will give him a bit of confidence. He's flicked the other red over the pocket. It was a good pot, but as we show you it again, just flicking that red, and now an early chance for Mark Selby.
Picking up where he left off last night, he was
4
in absolutely superb form by the end of the match with Marco Fu. Tip looks to be played in.
Put that camera away, please. Got a light on the front of it.
She's knocked a few balls in last night, if he had the chance, but not ideal. I mean, we're assuming it's a new tip he's put on as opposed to an old one
11.
played in that you know, you had sort of stored up ready for emergencies.
Didn't have one. Bobby, his good friend who's with him, said it was a brand new tip that was going on. And the way he's controlled that
12.
cue ball, there's certainly nothing wrong with this new tip. And of course, we've got a brand new cloth on the table as well. As play finished last evening, they were dismantling it to put a brand new cloth on. I suppose towards the end of that session, played beautifully. They were just starting to ping a little
19.
bit off the cushions, but I'm sure this table will play superbly well over the next 2 days.
20.
Impressive start. Bit closer to the cushion than he would have liked, though. And because of that, made it a bit more difficult to get the power on that shot
27.
and guarantee the pot. And also perhaps because the cushion covers have been renewed, just a little bit of a cushioning effect with the brand new cloth. Just slowed that cue ball up more than perhaps he expected.
Mark Selby, 27.
No easy path for Junhui back to the safety zone, so might have to leave the white up at this end of the table. Which is what he's done. That's what we call the dump shot, introduced by Cliff Thorburn, where you leave the white at this end of the table and you just dump the red up the other end. And talking about Cliff Thorburn, there he is. Hey, look at that. He doesn't look any different. He's been over for a few days. He looks exactly the same as his photograph. I played him in 1972 when he came over, and we've been best buddies ever since. And he's got his name on that beautiful trophy.
Dangerously close to that green pocket. That would have been a mistake. I assume he played it a bit thinner than that, or attempting a bit thinner than that. Problem for Junhui here is it's unavoidable in playing a safety shot to keep the pack tight. So you can see what he's looking at. It's a very aggressive opener, but he might think it's worth the risk. I think he's mentally turned it down.
Well, that would be some shot to take on, wouldn't it? It would scatter the reds everywhere, and not guaranteed. I think the plant, you'd probably maybe get it twice out of 10. Is he having a go?
Not sure. It's very aggressive, this, if he's going for this plant. No. Yes. Wow, well, that was... I don't know, surely you could have seen a containing safety. I mean, that is, you know, presenting your opponent with a chance to win the first frame, and whilst it's a best of 35, question marks about the choices there.
He had a straightforward safety shot down the right side of the table as we look at it, but elected to take on, well, I said I thought it was 2 out of 10 chance of getting it. He's okay. He's dropped the chalk. Has it gone right underneath the table?
That was an awful...
It is.
Oh. He really didn't hit that very well at all. He completely messed the shot up, and end of break. Could have got lucky possibly and held the pink spot, but it wasn't what he played. So Ding Junhui let off the hook.
Mark Selby, 7.
Tried to get that cue ball to go wider. Good safety shot from Ding Junhui. Strange position with that red by the yellow. Not sure if it goes into the green pocket. An attempt to try and get back up the table with the cue ball and push the red up the table. He's a bit wide on this. He's just got it past the pink, and he'll be very happy with that.
That was a clever safety shot he played there. But look at the black, it's totally out of the game now, red either side of it. Might just take the chance to free the black here, play the red next to it. Eight frames to be played this afternoon. There will be 9 this evening.
Playing the outside red at the bottom here. I don't think he's playing the one by the pink. Could knock the black into play, possibly. Tried that. That was quite an attacking safety shot, and he's got a good white ball.
I'm right down the line of the shot, and I think he might just be able to get past the yellow and the pink to clip the red.
He'd have been in all sorts of trouble. And he might be in all sorts of trouble if he can't. That's tight. It's a little bit of right-hand spin. New tip, not easy to judge. Perhaps you can just get to the middle of the cue ball. Yeah. But a mistake and a chance for Ding, although if that yellow's in the way it's more awkward, and also the positional play is even more awkward.
I think if he pots this, he might double kiss that red, and he could head up and leave the pink on.
Well, he could play it slow and try and see if he could hold for the black. That would be a shot, wouldn't it? Trundle it in there, the cannon on the red, and leave yourself on the black. Perhaps not. Slow drag shot or power screw back.
Well, he's left himself a very tricky black. He didn't get the double kiss, but this is a key shot early in this final.
He can roll it slow, and if he misses, the black stays over the pocket, so a bit of insurance perhaps.
Did touch the cushion on the way across, as you see here, but the pace
8.
let it drop into the pocket.
Brand new cloth helps no end in the pocket swallowing the ball up, regardless of the size of the pocket. So first realistic chance now with the balls open for Junhui.
Junhui 8.
But they're not that big.
This is now a good chance for Mark Selby.
One.
You can tell straight away as it caught the near jaw. It was never going to go in.
Pretty tense opening frame. Neither player really settled down. And of course the first frame of every one of these 4 sessions important. It can dictate the pattern of that particular session.
I think he's just okay. He's got a little gap to screw between. I think he can hold for the pink again
7.
if he just... I'm not sure if he can hold it or... Now he's had to go through the gap, so it wasn't quite
8.
the angle to hold for the pink. So it just means he's got an awful long way to travel now with the cue ball. With those 3 reds between the pink and black are available. Or certainly 2 of them are. Bit straight on the green, so he's had to come down the left side of the table.
11.
He's looking for 68 points, as you can see there, to leave Junhui needing a snooker. Must pass the red, and that's useful.
Just a bit shy of pace, but he's okay. Perhaps that top cushion playing a little bit slower than it has done.
19.
Stored in the memory banks of not just Mark Selby, but Junhui will have noticed as well.
Yeah, even with
20.
a new cloth on, the tables play slightly different, but within a frame you know exactly what's happening. You get used to the pace of the cloth and the cushions within one frame. Already 52 in front, so a couple more pots as he glances at the scoreboard
26.
there. That will tell him that he's a few pots away from securing this opening frame.
$27.
Well, Mark Selby hasn't been in blistering form in this tournament. He did up the pace and go through the gears a bit towards the end of the match with Marco Thor in the semi-final. timing is everything. As he timed his run to
34.
perfection.
35.
Well, he missed a few tournaments, so he's certainly fresh coming into this year's World Championship. See him moving around just a little bit, not as much as he used to do. It's just a mannerism that Mark's had for quite a number of years. But it seems
41.
much better now than 2 or 3 seasons ago. He's just a
42.
terrific player to watch.
Yes, he can
49.
become very machine-like, as can Junhui. Bit concerned about
50.
the aggressive plant that Ding played. I hope that he hasn't got a game plan to try and attack too much, to try not to get stuck in a tactical game. The trouble with that type of mindset is the balls
56.
dictate a lot of the shots. You can't just make things happen.
57.
Well, that kicked, and the red still flew in the pocket there, even though it hit the cushion. Let's have a look at this. There's it bouncing, but now this would be a great shot here if he can swing this round and get onto the green. He'd like to clear them all
64.
up. That's what he's attempting. Superbly played.
Well, I suggest, Dennis,
69.
whilst he didn't win the frame in his first couple of chances, that's a good confidence builder with a new tip on.
Yeah, he would have been concerned, but obviously when he
73.
had a practice session with it, he would have known straight away if the tip was any good or not. Sometimes you can get a bad tip, but there's certainly nothing wrong with this one. And look at the spin he's got on that.
78.
Little exhibition, positional shot there from the world number 1.
$84.
Well, Mark Selby needed a couple of chances. Ding took a very risky plant on at the beginning, and he looks in fine form. The world number 1 takes the opening frame. It's 1-0.